It was a dark and stormy night. A very dark and stormy night. Victor, on that dark, stormy, gothic setting night, brings his creature to life. Victor is on the brink of the achievement of a lifetime. He thinks he's going to win a Nobel Prize. He is creating this superior race. He's going to win fame and adoration. Wait, the glory he's been seeking for all this time. But, what? What? He gasps. What is this? The creature is ugly. It is big. It is disgusting. He is devastated at what this creature looks like. Yikes, he says. It's ugly. What did I do? What do I do? He's ugly. Now, shockingly, this poor creature, all by himself, what hasn't Victor done this whole time? He's racing to put his things together, to put the pieces together, to figure out the puzzle pieces, looking at everything in a mechanistic viewpoint, a Cartesian duality. He never paid attention to his physical features. Never. All of a sudden, he realizes, oh my gosh, there's a monster. A monster. And in this story, anything that's beautiful, take the fair Elizabeth, anything that's beautiful is good. Elizabeth is good and merciful, like Victor's mother. I'm good. I'm beautiful. Except she's not blonde because I couldn't find a blonde character. But anyway, I digress. Elizabeth leaves. The creature is ugly. So what do you think? The only thing that he can be is ugly, inside and out. But for those of you writing on beauty, is beauty in the eye of the beholder? What is beauty? Physical beauty? At this point, Victor says, oh my God, he's ugly. I'm out of here. I don't know what to do. The monster is just like a newborn baby, a newborn child. He reaches his hand to Victor. He pulls him. He reaches his hand out to him like a baby. And if you look on page 35, it describes the poor creature as yellow skin scarcely covered the work of muscles and arteries beneath him. His hair was of a lustrous black, flowing black. Compare that to, again, our friend Elizabeth, who, let's pretend she has blonde hair and blue eyes. Creature, black hair, even though this creature has brown hair, but black hair. He is horrid. Watery eyes, same color as the dun white sockets in which they were set. Shriveled complexion, all the wrinkles, no fair skin on him, right? And straight black lips, even his lips are black. Dun white, do you remember dun? My mistress's eyes are nothing like the sun. If hair be wires on her head, remember that? Can you find that sonnet? Back to the book. He says at the bottom of that page, I beheld the wretch. Wretch, key word, bottom of page 35, the wretch. The monster he is calling a wretch. This is his newborn baby. This is his son, his child. He's not saying, look at my beautiful son. He's saying, look at this miserable wretch, this miserable monster that I created. He held up from the curtain of his bed, and his eyes, if they may be called, were fixed on me. His jaws opened. Ooh. He muttered some inarticulate sounds. Ooh. While a grin wrinkled his cheeks. He might have spoken, but I did not hear. One hand was stretched out, seemingly to detain me. But I escaped. Ah! All alone, he's left. When he reaches out his hand like that, what is he doing? Is he reaching it out to grab Victor, to kill him, to detain him, to keep him? No, he's a baby. What do babies do? They reach out their hands to their mom and dad. That's what he's doing. He's reaching out to touch his dad, his creator. He's left all alone. All by myself. Poor baby. Confused, just born into the world, has no idea what's going on, and he's been abandoned. Victor is neglectful. Remember I told you one of the themes was responsibility? Is Victor taking responsibility? No, I'm out of here. Left all alone, in the darkness, pouring rain outside. He sits. Oh, no mortal could support. I'm on page 36. Oh, no mortal could support the horror of that countenance. What's countenance? It's your facial expression, right? Facial expression. A mummy, another Gothic character. Mummy, somebody risen from the dead. A mummy, again, endued with animation, could not be so hideous as that wretch. Even a wrapped-up dead mummy is more attractive than his creature, his baby. He was ugly then, and when those muscles and joints were rendered capable of motion, a thing became even as Dante could not have conceived. And I don't mean you, Mr. Abate. I mean Dante the writer. Dante the writer creates a whole vision of hell, and I will describe that to you in something else, either in class or in a PowerPoint. But Dante envisions every kind of horrible creature there could possibly be in hell, and he's saying that even that isn't as scary as what he just created. Again, is that Victor thinking that that's a bad thing? Not necessarily. Remember, Victor's playing God. He's also playing the devil. At this point, he's saying, I'm even better than that. I created something worse than those demons. I created a new life. I'm better than God. I'm better than the devil. Victor is a very arrogant person. Don't ever forget that. So, where do we leave off? Victor runs away. The creature tries to get him. Victor even leaves his laboratory. He leaves his laboratory with a creature in it, a monster who's confused. He's saying he's scary, he's ugly. And what does he do? He doesn't take care of him. He doesn't even try to chain him up. He doesn't lock him in. He runs away. So he just abandons him. He doesn't know what's going to happen to him. Again, how responsible is he? He doesn't care because now he realized what he did. He was so obsessed, so compulsive about what he was working on, he didn't see the big picture. So he runs away, and he's running around the streets of Ingolstadt. He's running around the woods outside of Ingolstadt. And what is he thinking of? He's thinking of Coleridge's Ancient Mariner. Remember, Coleridge's Ancient Mariner tells a tale. Christy's going to tell us all about that. And on page 36 it is, like one on a lonesome road who doth walk in fear and dread. Fear and dread. Victor's really afraid. And having once turned round, walks on, and turns no more his head, because he knows a frightful fiend doth close behind him tread. What the heck does that mean? What is Coleridge saying? He's saying that, you know, when you're walking in the woods, or you're walking alone, or it's late at night, and you feel like somebody's following you, you're not sure, but you kind of feel like somebody's behind you, and you're too afraid to turn around, because if you turn around, there is going to be a monster. Arrgh. And this poor creature is probably just chasing his dad, saying, Dad, wait up, I need you. But that's not what Victor sees it. He's just running away, running away, running away. Right? Okay. As he's still roaming around, Victor, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm so upset, I can't believe I did that. He runs into Henry. Henry, oh, Victor, I am so glad to see you, my dear Frankenstein, top of page 37. How glad I am to see you. How fortunate that you should be here at the very moment of my alighting. Oh my gosh, thank God it's you, Henry. Thank you, thank you, thank you. He starts to think of Elizabeth. He starts to think of his dad. And he's like, oh, this is good. This is good. I just want to hang out with you, and I just want to pretend all this stuff didn't happen. I just want to pretend it didn't happen. Have you ever had that experience where you did something you probably shouldn't have done, and you wished it would just go away, and then you see your friends, and you're like, oh, excellent. You know what? I'll just hang out with them, and I'll just forget everything. But is that good? No. Does Henry, being his good friend, recognize it right away? And he says on page 38, "My dear Victor, what for God's sake is the matter? Do not laugh in that manner. How ill you are." Laugh in that manner. He is laughing. He's out of his mind. He's clapping his hands. He's acting completely out of control. Because why? He's mad. Remember, mad. Do you remember who else laughed? People in Poe's stories. They were mad. They were laughing uncontrollably, not laughing in a normal way. He was wild, Victor. Remember, he's still emaciated. He's not having any sleep. Victor says, oh my gosh, you're ill. What is the cause of this? Don't ask me, he says. Don't ask. Don't ask. Oh, save me, save me, save me. At that minute, he's imagining that the creature is seizing him, and he's struggling, and he falls down. Boom. Can't make this little guy fall down, but he falls down. Boom. Clarabelle's like, what the heck is going on here? What is going on? Victor's in a nervous fever. He's sick. Who else finds him in that state? Think. Come on. Wait for it. Who else? Wait for it. Ah, yes, it's Robert. Robert finds Victor in this emaciated, feverish, starving, crazed state. Remember, he wouldn't even get on the boat. He wouldn't even get on the boat with Robert. He's like, no way, only let me up if you're going to chase after that guy over there on the sled, that crazy gigantic figure that's running around with the dogs. And he's like, dude, you're in the middle of nowhere. Just come on the ship and we'll talk. Okay. Well, the same thing is going on with Henry. Henry. He's in a rage. He's in a fit. Again, how selfish is Victor? Let me tell you, who would want to be his friend? He is so completely high maintenance. Okay. So he finds him and he's like, I'm going to take care of you. Don't worry, Victor. And that leads us to chapter 6. Chapter 5, guys, has a lot in it. It shows us exactly what's going on with Victor. He starts off with the creature. He runs away. He's completely irresponsible. He sees what he did and he can't even accept it. He has a nightmare about Elizabeth and his mother and their death, right? Foreshadowing, guys. The mother's already dead. What does that tell you about Elizabeth? Predict what could happen to Elizabeth. Foreshadowing. He sees the ugly smile. He runs out of the house. Next morning, goes for a walk. Hanging out in the woods. Whoops. We're on the ship. There we go. Hanging out in the woods. Running around the town of Engelstadt. But then, yay, thankfully, he runs into Henry. Henry's like, hey, what's up? Henry's nice. Henry's good looking. As opposed to his creature. By the way, Victor doesn't look so hot in this, does he? Because he's emaciated, he's sick, and he's pale. Well, in this case, he's way beyond pale. But Henry falls down, falls into his friend's arms, needs to be nursed back to health, and then what does Henry do? Being the great guy that he is, he gives him letters from Elizabeth. So he is happy and is going to feel a little restored. Meanwhile, don't ever forget what's going on. We've got this poor creature loose. He's loose. He's all by himself. He's confused. He can't even speak. He's moaning. He's groaning. His dad just ran away. He has no idea what's going on. He's just been born. He's going to end up in the woods. And what do you think's going to happen when people see him? All right. So stay tuned for our next chapter.